Promo Insiders, the ASI Media podcast that answers the questions that matter most to the promotional products industry, from hard-hitting news to fun trends and analysis. I'm Teresa Hegel, Executive Editor of Digital Content, and today I'm joined by Neil Ringel, CEO of Polyconcept. We're going to talk about the Top 40 Supplier's new ProudPath platform and why it's imperative for the promo industry to get proactive when it comes to environmental and social responsibility. Thanks for joining us today, Neil.
Thanks for having me.
So just to start off, can you tell us a little bit more about what ProudPath is, how it'll work, and what it's going to mean for distributors?
Sure can. So in a nutshell, ProudPath is our way of creating a comprehensive platform for social and environmental responsibility. What we are trying to do is give our distributor partners a turnkey platform so they can communicate with confidence to their customers about both their efforts and ours regarding social responsibility. There's a lot that goes into this, and we know that not everybody can make the investments, so we're trying to do that on behalf of our distributors.
Awesome. So I know on the website it mentions that ProudPath is supposed to be a call to action for the whole promo industry. So can you tell us a little bit about what kind of reaction you are hoping to spark within the industry, and also why Polyconcept is the right supplier to kind of make this call to action?
Yeah, let me take that in a couple of pieces. I think that we're all living in a world that is becoming more and more environmentally conscious and socially conscious, right? Most companies have initiatives around this. We're no different. And we see ourselves as playing a leadership role in trying to educate our distributors and the industry at large about how far we as an industry can go in being responsible, in providing responsibly sourced product, ethically sourced product from minority and women-owned businesses. So it's a movement, and it's one that we hope that gains speed over time. It certainly has over the last few years.
Yeah, for sure. So, as far as sustainability, Europe kind of has a significant lead on the U.S., in terms of putting an emphasis on eco and green issues. So I'm wondering, what, if anything, have you guys adopted from the European arm, PF Concept?
Well, as timing would have it, I happen to be in Amsterdam for this visit, and I was with our team today, who have done incredible things with regards to eco education in the marketplace. Messaging on their web platform. We do joint sourcing, so all of our work around compliance and ethical sourcing are done jointly. But I think it's roughly the same on both sides of the ocean for us. So we as a corporation, as Polyconcept, have committed ourselves to this cause. And so collectively, we're moving at very fast speed.
Yeah, so it's not that it's just a US-based thing or a European thing. This is for Polyconcept as a whole, worldwide.
Yeah, they'll launch ProudPath in the near future here, but the underlying components of the plans are the same.
Okay. So the ProudPath. Oh my goodness, it's a little hard to say. The ProudPath platform notes that it encompasses a lot of sustainable gift options and high-end retail brands, but obviously you guys, your portfolio is much broader and has more budget-friendly kind of lines that maybe don't necessarily have a primary focus on sustainability. So where would you say lines like Bullet fall in sustainability efforts? Is there going to be an emphasis to make those more green going forward in the future?
So it's an excellent question, and you touched on brands, and you did in the last question. So let me answer that, and then I'll directly address Bullet.
Okay.
We have been on a journey to find certified B Corps, to find people with environmental and social give back programs, and today we've got over 25 brands in our portfolio that are third-party brands, and that's been part of PCNA's journey over the last few years, to have that price diversity, to have that brand diversity, from from high-end gifting that can go into the hundreds of dollars down to lower-end product like we serve at Bullet. And while there are no brand partners at Bullet, we primarily introduce those through leads. We have a few, but we primarily introduce those through our leads and ETS businesses. On the Bullet side, the commitment goes beyond just whose product we're buying. We're spending a considerable amount of time ensuring that our packaging meets our standards, meaning we want our packaging to be FSC certified. We're doing that across all of our businesses. As a matter of fact, we now have 4 of our locations that are FSC certified in total. So it's things like
Forest Stewardship Council.
Forest Stewardship Council, sorry. And we like third parties validating our work. Not in putting bamboo on an unfriendly product doesn't make it an eco product, right? So we want third party validation. We want to work with partners who are equally committed to not only the sourcing but the giving back. So our 1% for the Planet program on eco product cuts across all of our business units. In the last few years, we've given back over $450,000, Bullet being part of that. But at the core, that is more lower end price point product, but things like bags, making sure that we're using ethically sourced or recycled cotton plays into our design. So it cuts across all of our business units.
Okay. And you also touched on something I was going to ask next, actually, about packaging. I'm just wondering, are you seeing a demand from clients for those more eco-friendly packaging and like waste reduction targets as far as, packaging items? And you did kind of touch on that you guys are working on that, but do you have more plans to reduce packaging and kind of make it more sustainable?
Indeed. So we hear it from many of our customers that their customers are demanding more eco-friendly product. And this is a journey that we've started a few years ago. So ProudPath allows us to put it under an umbrella and provide a turnkey platform for the distributor. But it's work that started in 2018, 2019, and throughout the pandemic. So we're not only working on using recycled materials in our packaging, but we're also working on reducing packaging waste. So even an extra ½ inch in a box or a package, when you add that up to how much space that takes up in a container and how many containers can go on a ship, you want to reduce your carbon emissions by making sure that everything you do is as small and tight as possible. And our product development team and our team over in Asia are working hand in hand with our suppliers to help them understand what our goals are and modifying, in many cases, the way things are being packaged.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure most people have had that experience of ordering something from Amazon and it's just like a tiny little thing and it comes in this giant package and you're like, why? Why did they do this? So it's just like
it's so true. Or even a box that again, it might have a hang tag on top of the box. Just that little tab consumes so much space when you're ordering 5 or 10,000 of those, that working to reduce just those little things add up in a big way to reducing carbon emissions.
Yeah, that's such a great point. So I know in the press release you guys sent out earlier this week announcing ProudPath, you mentioned that you're aiming for a 50% reduction in carbon emissions by 2025, and as well as 100% supply chain transparency. So I think you've touched on a little bit about how you guys are hoping to accomplish that, but can you talk a little bit more about, what the plan is to achieve those goals?
Yeah, it's a bunch of little things that eventually add up to big things. Recently we swapped out all the lighting in all of our plants, so it could be more LED lighting and less power consumption. We talked about the packaging and the redesign. Even the way that products will occasionally come in where they're in individual poly sleeves. We're working to redesign the packaging so that poly doesn't need to be extruded. I think our number is somewhere around 14.8 million tons or 14.8 million water bottles that we've avoided because we're switching many of the products that we sell to include recycled materials where previously they did not. So, most recently, we do quite a bit of business with third-party brands. We introduced Herschel's Eco line, right, which replaces the former line. So in every product decision we're making, we're trying to work with our partners to reduce carbon waste. And that goes down to our own waste streams and how we recycle dunnage in our own facilities, how we package to make sure you don't get that Amazon type box, because that just takes more cost to ship and that burns more fuel on a UPS or a FedEx truck. Right. And to that end, in 2 or 3 months ago, we switched our program with UPS to their carbon neutral program. So they're contributing carbon offset now to every shipment that we procure from them. So it's little things that add up to big things.
Okay. And how do you track everything? Is there do you have a benchmark where you started and you're able to keep track of what changes you're making?
Absolutely. And we do that not just for eco, but we do that across our social responsibility platforms, both with our internal employees as well as our corporate giving efforts. We track a lot. We track pretty much everything around here. So it's the only way to know if you're making progress is to have those KPIs and hold yourself accountable to them.
Yeah, I think measurement is so important, and not just for sustainability, but just to have a successful business. So if you already have a successful business and are doing that, why not use those same ideas to, focus on the sustainability kind of issues as well?
Absolutely.
So, we covered a lot already, but I'm just wondering if you have anything else that you'd like to add about ProudPath or, just why the industry needs to start putting more of a focus on environmental and social responsibility.
Yeah, well, look, we all live in the same planet. We all live in the same world. We all have friends and neighbors who have different experiences than us. And I think that, as a company, as a leader in the industry, one of the leaders in the industry, I think we have a responsibility to go further than perhaps people are asking and take a leadership role. And that's what we're trying to do. But as I've said many times before, this is something I hope that everybody takes advantage of. Look, if you're a distributor, you can go on our website, and we've got ProudPath now on our banner, but we also have it on our navigation toolbar, so you can get to it and access those tool sets to help your customers understand. And we purposely branded this in a way that it doesn't reflect our brand. It doesn't reflect the PCNA brand. We know that oftentimes our distributors want us to play a more anonymous role in the supply chain, but we still, through ProudPath, want to play a role in helping them educate their customers. I hope that the industry continues, and I've read some great things that you all have written of what other suppliers are doing. I hope that it continues, and I hope that we as an industry, who oftentimes get seen as people who make product that get thrown in a landfill, realize that there are products that will last for years. There are great brands that will encourage people to keep the item perhaps longer. But in any case, that we're making products more sustainably, we're packaging them more sustainably, and we're shipping them in a more responsible way. I think we can all do those things.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you make a good point that the industry has a certain reputation that we kind of have to fight against, and if we aren't doing that, if we aren't taking these big steps, we could get left behind, and we could let that negative messaging have a negative impact on the business that we have.
And I really think it's far from the truth. I think that our industry provides great product that doesn't end up immediately in a landfill. But if somebody does want to get rid of a product, we hope that they do it in a responsible way where it can get back into use as a repurposed item. So, I mean, everybody can do something. And really, we're hoping that this brings awareness and that it really helps our distributors when they get asked a question from one of their suppliers. Are things certified? What's the compliance standards? Are they ethically sourced? That we can help them answer those questions and give them comfort that we've got their back.
Great. Well, this is really exciting. I'm so glad you took a couple minutes today to talk with us about ProudPath and sustainability in general. So thank you so much for joining us.
Well, Teresa, thank you for having me, and thanks for giving us this forum.
Awesome. Stop recording.